What's up, guys? Today we have a BROOK video against Ace. I think this has been requested quite a lot. And today we will be playtesting another card or something else that's been requested quite a lot, which is the 4-cost promo Luffy. That card has probably been my most requested card to playtest, and I'm really excited to show it to you. I think this matchup is a matchup where this card probably shines the most, so you'll probably get the best demonstration of how the card works. This is kind of like a best case scenario for the card. I'm still not completely sold on the card myself. I think I can definitely see the use case for it. It reminds me a lot of the 5-cost Bonnie in Mihawk, if you guys played that. The idea is you're basically accepting that disrupting your opponent's curve is worth disrupting your own curve, you know? So against Ace, you're basically saying it's better for me not to play Nightmare Luffy on my 7 Don play if it means he can't play Iron Whitebeard on 8 Don. That's kind of how I see these like disruption plays. It's the same with the Bonnie for Mihawk, because you're basically accepting that you'll play a worse curve, and in return your opponent plays a worse curve. So you're kind of like it's kind of like not good for either of you, but you're saying that by disrupting his curve, it's actually better for me. Like his curve is more important. That's how I see that card. I hope that made sense. I don't know if I'm good at explaining stuff, but I think I can definitely see the idea behind the card. I definitely see why people like this card so much. Um, I think for me personally, it will just completely depend on the meta, depending on what cards are popular, if this card has a spot in the deck or not. Because it's a 4-cost 5k, it feels kind of underwhelming. A lot of the time, it'll probably just be used as counter. Um, but that disruption does feel nice. Like having the option to disrupt your opponent does feel nice. And I think against Ace is probably his best use case. Um, so yeah, I think the other use case is probably against Enel, of course, to disrupt the 6 cost. Um, the way that works is that you will rest Enel's Don, so that he has to now use his leader effect to restand that rested Don, to play his 6 cost Enel. But by doing that, he can no longer attach the 4 rested Don to one of the little guys or whatever he wants, probably like a Holy to swing. That's kind of the idea, right? Like you can't attach those 4 rested Don to a Holy. So you're basically buying yourself some time. I also agree with that. I think that also sounds good on paper. So I want to test that out against Enel next. I was asked to do an update on the Enel matchup now that Holy's popular. So yeah, this is definitely a card I'll be testing against Enel. And so yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Okay, so game 1 into Ace. Um, this hand probably doesn't look great at first sight, but I think it's fine. Like your Robin can fix your hand pretty easily, and we get the chopper anyways. So already we're pretty happy. Like I think opening with chopper is all you need to see. It feels like most of the time because chopper brings out docking 6. Docking 6 can bring out another card. It's so good. But anyways, we swing 6. Ace is already building up a big hand size, which is, I guess that's what that leader does, right? Like it's just have to accept it. Nothing wrong with that. We play out the chopper. A nice thing against Ace is that we don't have to pop our chopper, so we can just keep that on the board. And also another nice thing is that we can finally take life against this leader because they don't have pudding anymore. Like, thank God that card is gone. I know it's like 50-50, and I didn't really talk about it in my last video against Boa, but I hated pudding, and I was so glad to see it banned. Like, you can finally play the game normally. You don't have to play around 5 to 6 cards in your hand just on the off chance they're putting you, and then they're putting you anyways, and now you've lost all the cards you searched for. Like it was such a dumb card. I'm so glad it's gone, and now we can finally take our life. That's what I'll say. I know it's like controversial, so I don't want to rant on it too much. I was definitely a big fan of that card getting removed. Here we play docking 6. I believe we're gonna do a double chopper play because this list I wanted to test the 4-cost Luffy, specifically the 4-cost promo Luffy. It's probably my most requested card to test. So I feel like playing into Ace is a perfect showcase for this card, right? Because ultimately, whether we play cards like this or not will just depend on the meta. If Ace is very prominent, then or if decks which are very curve heavy, is that the term? Yeah, if those decks are very prominent, then this 4-cost Luffy might be needed. like to stop Ace's 8 Don play, for example. Um, what else? Well, honestly, I think that's like the main one that comes to mind. Like people were also saying to stop the Enel's 6 cost play. Like if you can play it on their first 6 drop, and then they can't attach the 4 rested Don because they have to use their leader effect to restand the Don you rest, which means that they can't attach the 4 rested Don to one of the little guys. I see the vision. I think Ace is probably the best matchup though to showcase this. And if anyone played Mihawk last set, you know that it's similar to playing the 5 cost Bonnie where you freeze it on. I think being able to disrupt your opponent's curve is actually quite nice. I think it's just a matter of what's more important, like disrupting your opponent's curve or playing your own curve, you know? And I think into Ace disrupting his 8 Don play is pretty important, more important than us playing our curve. So yeah, that's kind of how I view the card. Back to the game, we searched for the Nami. We got the Nami off the chopper. And we used Nami Searcher to bring probably a Sanji to hand, right? Like we want draw power. The 7 cost Luffy or the 4 cost Luffy, we already have one, and the Nightmare Luffy, we're on our even curve, so we won't be playing that from hand. So taking a 2k is nice. Always nice to take 2ks whenever you can. You'll see I have 3 Robin in hand. So stacking up on counter is really nice. Here we're thinking about how to swing. I think so. Obviously, Ace builds a big hand. You want to attack his hand, which is why I'm swinging into his character. I feel like Cavendish is one of those characters where players will genuinely just drop the entire hand to protect. It reminds me of when I used to play Mihawk. Sometimes I would just drop my entire hand to protect my 5 cost Tashigi, and I wouldn't even know why. I would just lose the game because I did that. But there are just certain cards in One Piece I feel like where, as a player, you just don't want to see it die. I have no idea why. And I feel like Cavendish is one of those cards, you know? Like, I genuinely think players will just drop their entire hand to protect that one card. So yeah, I always swing into Cavendish because I know they will never let it die for whatever reason. Uh, it is like very nice to like swing with it, draw 2. You know, it just feels good. It's like a dopamine hit when you draw those 2 cards. I think that's probably the reason. It's generally just a dopamine hit to draw 2 cards on every swing. Yeah. Here you can see we played the Luffy. We disrupted his 8 Don play. So now we get to play our Nami first. What that means is we can swing with our Nightmare Luffy, and they can't swing into it with their Whitebeard, if that makes sense. Because we're now we're like 1 tempo ahead now, right? So that's kind of the idea behind this card, and I think this is probably like the best scenario for it. So if Ace is very prominent in the meta, then I can definitely see this 4 cost Luffy being a staple in the deck. I'm not completely sold on this card personally yet. I feel like it's very, very meta. Look, he literally just dropped his entire hand. I'm telling you, Cavendish is one of those cards. People will just drop their whole hand to protect. It's the dopamine hit. I'm telling you. It was literally me with the 5 cost Tashigi last set. I could never let that card go, and I have no idea why. Just being like a 5 cost 8k, I think it was, like, yeah, I couldn't let that card go ever. Yeah, this Luffy's done its job now. It was literally just to delay that Whitebeard, as I was saying. Now you can see our Nightmare Luffy's rested, but he can't swing into it. That's like the idea behind this card. But I was saying I'm not completely sold on it because I don't know. It feels a bit weak, right? It's like it's a 5k, a 4 cost 5k, so stat lines are pretty bad, and yeah, just depends on the meta. Completely depends on the meta. But it's literally my most requested card to try out. So I really wanted to test it out, and I completely see the vision. I completely see why people like this card. So this is already our turn. Like this is already us going for game, right? Like this guy has 5 cards in hand. I mean, I don't even blame him for trying to protect that Cavendish. Genuinely, I feel like players will just never let cards like that go. I feel like we're all guilty of it. And here we go for the Brook. There's just so many lines you can take with this deck. It's so fun to play. Like these lethal turns, it's just so much fun to play. Yeah, you just have so many creative ways that I just love this deck list so much, where you just play 1s and 2s of everything, and you just have an answer to everything, genuinely. So here we're swinging. He uses his leader effect. Once Ace uses his leader effect, that's when it's go time. Like that leader effect, once it's gone, you know he's like struggling with counter. Um, so yeah, now we're swinging. And so here I kept one Don active so I can use my leader effect. Um, so I can use the Sanji to mill my cards, resign my Knight, my Luffy. So yeah, it was a pretty guaranteed game. Okay, so going into game two, um, it's kind of like the same idea, right? Like, aces will always choose to go second, of course, because this entire deck relies on that 8 cost Iron Whitebeard, whatever it is. Like, it's so reliant on playing that one card on curve, uh, that if you can disrupt it, you see how the tempo switches into swings into our favor, right? I feel like Yeah, I feel like this deck is without pudding, it just does not feel the same. You know, like with pudding, I felt like I could lose to this deck because pudding just has so much RNG built into the card. But without pudding, his game plan feels so telegraphed. Like you genuinely just know what he's gonna play. You know, he's gonna drop the Marco or the Yamato, Cavendish, like, and then yeah, he just sits on a million cards in hand and plays the Iron Whitebeard. I've personally never ever struggled against Ace because I got back into the game OP15 and I played Mihawk, and Mihawk had a very nice matchup into Ace. The only times I would lose, which would be like 1 in 10 games, would be when he puddinged and got lucky. But otherwise, Mihawk felt really strong into Ace. Brook also feels really strong into Ace. I just think we're way too aggressive for this leader. Like he just does not have the time needed to set up. You know, as you saw in the last game, like we just end the game so quickly into leaders like Ace. They're just way too slow. Way too slow. The only things we lose to is aggression, and I don't think aggression is very prevalent in the meta right now. Like I feel like if the OPO one Zoro was meta right now, we'd be cooked. But I mean, we become a 7K leader, so I don't even know if we'd be cooked. But yeah, like meta aggro decks just really aren't it right now. You have the Enel, I guess, but even that, it's not the same because you know their swings are very telegraphed, right? Like they can go 5-7 big swing, 6-6 big swing. Like it's yeah, I don't know, it doesn't feel the same. Which is why I think Brook is in a great spot right now, genuinely. Holy is too aggressive though. So that card, I do need to make a follow-up video actually on Holy. Yeah, that is the one card that's too aggressive, which I think is okay, right? Like we only lose to one card in the game. I think that's fine. Can't have it all. Um, yeah, pretty standard turn so far. I feel like these early turns, I normally just end up yapping over it because you're just playing your curve, right? It's literally if you watch my previous videos, it's literally just the same thing every game. You play Chopper, you play Docking Six. You're just trying to sculpt your hand for your late game, which is when this deck comes alive. And now pudding doesn't exist, so you can actually sculpt your hand. Because before you would sculpt your hand, and then they were just putting it anyways, just for the love of the game. You could be 5 cards in hand, they're just putting you for fun, and now your entire game plan's ruined. Like, oh my days, I have so much trauma against that card. I'm so glad it's gone. I wasn't even mad that they didn't ban other yellow cards. I was just happy to see that one card gone. That's all I wanted to see. The games feel so much more comfortable now. It's so easy to play against decks like Ace and Boa. There's no more RNG, you know? Well, Boa, they have the triggers. But against Ace, there's no more RNG. Like, now he's just screwed. Like, it's so obvious that next turn he plays Iron Whitebeard, and so if we just drop this 4 cost, like, he can't do it. You know, it's so easy to play against this deck when you know what's coming. Like, it's literally just a repeat of our first game, right? Like, we're going to play the 4 cost, we're going to stop him, we're going to interrupt him, then we're going to play the 8 cost Nami. It's such a telegraphed game right from the start. But I don't think you can read Brook you can't read Brook the same way you can read other decks, right? Like even if I was to play a mirror, I would have no idea what my opponent's doing. I think Brook is such a complicated leader that it makes it so hard for your opponent to read what you're gonna do. After you finish playing your curve, of course. Like, you know, after you finish your 5 don't play, your 7 don't play, 8 don't play, whatever. I think that's like such a big strength actually. It's super hard to play against Brook. Because how can my opponent know what I'm going to do when I don't even know what I'm going to do? A lot of these late game turns, it takes me like 5 minutes to figure out how to go for game. So there's no way he knows how I'm going to go for game. Here, pinging six, lovely, love pinging six. I think over here, I remember when I was playing this game, I played this yesterday, I think, maybe 2 days ago, I don't know. I realized I don't have any 2Ks in my hand. Um, and so originally my plan was, I believe my plan, oh, my light's flickering. I believe my plan was to play Chopper, Chopper, Nami, and the forecast. Yeah, that's seven done. That was my plan. But then I couldn't swing 6K. So instead, I think I realized that this Nami search will almost guaranteed give me a 2K. Um, and so I don't need to play the chopper. And so now I can actually just swing 6K, 6K, 8K instead, which is a lot better, right? Um, and just play the forecast. So those are the two lines I was thinking of. Either play the chopper and don't swing at all, or don't swing the 6K with my leader, or uh, don't play the chopper and I get better swings. And all I was looking for was the 2K, which I found off my Nami. Sorry, I feel like I explained that horribly. Um, but yeah, this is what I'm trying to say is this is the nice thing about having your entire deck in your trash is that I was very confident that that Nami would give me a 2K. So I don't need to play the chopper, you know? Um, and the reason I want a 2K is because my hand, as you can see, is very low on counter power. I have one, two, three, four bricks and two 1Ks. Um, so I was, having counter in hand. Doesn't matter how strong your deck is, if you don't have counter, you'll just lose. Very important to make sure you have counter in hand. I've been reading some comments on people struggling with bricking on Brook, which is understandable. I think you just need to prioritize finding 2Ks more. I've mentioned this in a previous video, but sometimes it can feel bad taking a 2K on a search, like a Nami search or a Chopper search, because you want to pick a more interesting card. But these 2Ks are really important. So sometimes you just have to do the boring play and just take a 2K. Like sometimes it's more interesting to take like the 6 cost Brook or the 4 cost Nami and just have it in hand. Uh, but yeah, 2Ks are really important. So I think you should think about like that 2K right there just did so much work for me. I could just counter that 6K swing so efficiently, you know? Like these unfortunately these 2Ks are important. So you do have to take them. It makes a very big difference. Especially since you're trying to stay healthy. And he doesn't have the 8 cost play anymore, so you know he's going to swing big this turn, because he's not just going to tap out his all his Don. But actually, the 8 Don play gets him the white beard, which gets him 4 Don, so yeah, he'd still swing big. Here, I can definitely counter this with that chopper probably that I didn't play. So all in all, I was very happy with how I played the last turn. This feels a lot more efficient, right? Because Ace gets so many cards in hand. Like every opportunity you get to swing is important because at one turn in the game we have to go for game, right? So every single card we're getting out of his hand right now, uh, we'll see the fruits of our labor when we go for game. That's how I like to think about it. Um, yeah, he plays the Jozu. Lovely. It's so lovely that our Paradoxing 6 is an 11 cost. I love how they just did that for fun. Like, it's so good. It's so good. He can't even bounce it or bottom deck it. But bottom deck it. It's such a strong defense, actually. It's so, like, underrated, these, like, plus cost defenses. I like how they've added that into the game. It's very creative. Um, yeah, so, again, very similar to last game, right? Where we delayed the I am Whitebeard turn. I really hope that's what the card's called because that's how I remember. That's what I remember as. But yeah, we delay his 8 cost event card turn. Um, the matchup is just genuinely cooked for him. I think the point of this video was just to showcase his 4 cost Luffy. It's been requested a lot. Uh, this is a great video to show how strong this Luffy can be. Um, yeah, I recorded both of these videos back to back again, so it's very consistent, I'd say. Um, Ooh, it must feel great to draw 3 cards as ace. Like that block must have felt amazing for him. He just got such a massive hand off that. Oh, that must have been amazing. I've never I played ace like 1 or 2 games when I first got into OP14, had no idea what I was doing, and then ultimately I went with Mihawk and I just one tricked that deck. Um I've been one tricking green decks since the start. I played Kid OP01, I played Odin OP02. Like I've always been a green player. Uh, Brook is like a very unique leader though, so I wouldn't call him a green deck, but he does have certain play lines which really remind me of green. Like green always had like I feel like historically green has always been a very bricky color. You always brick with green, so you kind of have to learn how to be very efficient with how you counter. Um, and stuff like that. I feel like transferred over to Brook for sure. It's just lovely. Like now, if he wants to kill our Nightmare Luffy, he has to commit so much Don, and he can't play his Whitebeard, and he's kind of screwed. We have another Nami anyways, so there's no way he would ever kill this Nightmare Luffy, which is why you should feel comfortable swinging with it. Because yeah, he wants to play his Whitebeard, right? Yeah, delaying this card just by one turn makes all the difference. However, the one thing I was thinking about is that does delaying this I am Whitebeard um does delaying that make that big a difference? Like, imagine we just played a normal list, right? And we play our normal curve. So on our 7 Don play, we just drop like a Nightmare Luffy or something. And then he plays this I am Whitebeard. And then we play the Nami. Alright, that's the curve. Yeah. Like, I feel like that's still very strong. So I don't know if you need to delay his I am Whitebeard turn. If that makes sense. You know? Like I'm not completely sold on this 4 cost card yet. I just wanted to show you guys how it plays so that you can make that decision for yourself if you like this card or not. I think a lot of people have been enjoying it. And I think as the set gets closer, my goal is to just playtest all the cards, and then once I know which cards I like, I just have to figure out the ratios of them. Uh, and so I think this was honestly probably one of the last cards I had left to playtest. If you have any more suggestions, please do comment. I love trying out the new cards or just trying out new cards in general. Um, but I'm pretty happy with what I've got so far. Like I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to a list I enjoy playing and that I'll take to the rank sim. I think the main thing now for me is just figuring out ratios, like how many Lord Beppers do I want to play? How many Robin do I want to play? How many Docking 6 do I want to play? How many Nightmare Luffy do I want to play? I could be playing 3. I skipped ahead a bit. This is like the last turn, right? So you need to spend time thinking about it. Like you can't mess this turn up. So you can see in the chat, I just said thinking, just letting him know. He's also excited to see the Brook combos. I think everyone realizes that late game Brook has so many lines, and it's kind of up to the player to figure it out, right? Um, I think, yeah, I think I spent a lot of time thinking about how I want to go for game here. But here I see him use his ace effect, and I know it's just go time. Like I know I have game after seeing him use that, because he's probably not very high on counter in hand. So I open with the Nami into Luffy, resun 4 Don, rest is 2 blockers. Now I have 5 cards in deck, so I swing 8k with this Luffy. I'm getting ready to play the spoils from hand so that I can use my leader effect if need be. So this Luffy's going to be able to attack 8k twice, and I'm pretty certain one of those has to connect, right? Because he used his leader effect on Anami. That tells us that he doesn't have much counter in hand. So yeah, here he's just thinking. I think this was a pretty cool lethal. It's not like the most insane lethal, right? Like I think at this point people kind of know that bringing out Luffy to DMG is kind of like a staple line. But yeah, I think adding the spoils to the combo is quite nice. Being able to deck out with this 2 cost card, 2k card. I'm a really big fan of spoils, as I've mentioned before. I think just being able to just when you need just a little bit more to deck out, and then spoils comes in, and you can reattach the rest of Don. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So here I need this double swing to go through. So I attach that 1 Don to my Nightmare Luffy. Not my secret Luffy. Just make sure that swing connects. Uh, Maybe that 1 Don should have gone somewhere else. I think when I was playing the game, I was debating whether I should attach that rested onto the secret Luffy or something else. But ultimately, we figured out the lethal turn and we went for game, and we won the game. I think that's stressful. Yeah, I think I said I messed up with the rested Don, but I don't think this guy wanted to hear it. I think he was. I don't know. Okay, so this is the deck we're playing for this video. I think compared to last video, uh, we're making space for the 3 Luffy, basically. It's basically the same list, but we made space for the 3 Luffy. So we got rid of 1 Nami, we got rid of 1 Brook, and we got rid of 1 Luffy. So I think for me personally, when it comes to switching ratios around, I always try to switch a counter card for a counter card and switch a non counter card for a non counter card. Like you don't want to mess up your ratio of counters to non counters. Um, so yeah, that's I think Brook as a one-off in general. I think going forward, that's what I'm gonna play it as. And I think if yellow's more prominent, I'll probably bump Luffy up to 2. I also read a comment about someone saying play Robin at 3 and play Lord Beppo at 3. I also like that idea, so I'll probably do that as well. 3 Robin, 3 Lord Beppo. That sounds pretty good to me. Um, I've been playtesting 3 Nightmare Luffy. I saw it in someone else's list actually, and I thought it was really interesting, so I wanted to try it myself. I'm actually a pretty big fan of playing Nightmare Luffy at 3, because you want to see it enough that it'll be in your hand on your 7 don play going first, but you will also be playing it off your Nami, you know? So like you don't need it at a 4 because you'll be playing it off your Nami, if that makes sense. But you want to see it in your hand. So I think 3 is a good number where it's not too little where you will never draw it, but it's also not too much where you will have too many in your hand, Because a lot of the time I just use it as a counter. Hopefully that explanation made sense. So yeah, I think 3 I'm a pretty big fan of. I definitely still need to do some more testing on 3 Nightmare Luffy, but I think it's an interesting idea because I think people kind of have accepted that your 16 staple cards are 4 Paradoxing, 4 Nightmare Luffy, 4 8 cost Nami, and 4 Chopper. Like people have just accepted these are 16 card staple, like a 16 card staple in the deck. But as you see, I'm playing 3 Paradoxing and I'm playing 3 Nightmare Luffy. So I don't think we should be too rigid in our mindset at this point. Like we're still testing, right? I think for me personally, the only cards which I've completely locked in are 4 Chopper and 4 Nami. I think and 4 Sanji for sure. I mean the 2Ks you can still argue whether you want to play 10 2Ks, 8 2Ks, 10 2Ks, 11 2Ks, or 12 2Ks. Um, I've been playing 12 2Ks, but the 4 Sanji, yeah, this card is also insane. So those 3 cards I think are locked in. But I mean, Sanji, like, let's just ignore that stuff for now. Let's just talk about the main core of the deck. I think Chopper and Nami, for me personally, are locked in. Everything else is up for debate. Like, all these ratios, I'm happy to change anything. Um, I think people were a fan of the more in depth deck breakdown. I think one thing I'll probably change is I'm going to put this at the end of the video, not the start. I think a lot of people clicked off the video when I had this at the start. So I'm gonna test out keeping it at the end only and see how that affects the viewer attention. Um, so yeah, let's go through the deck. I yapped quite a bit. Play 4 Nami. Yeah, the main searcher of your deck. You can't search other Namis, but uh, you're not looking for other Namis anyways. You're just looking for Chopper mainly, or Paradoxing, or Nightmare Luffy. Like it finds your other pieces. So it's a really good searcher, and also it sets up the bottom of your deck. The bottom of your deck, which is really important because as Brook, you will see the bottom of your deck. So it's actually very important to set up the bottom of your deck. Next we play 1 Nami. Again, this Nami is pretty much I'll pretty much only play this Nami off this Nami because I use it as a pseudo DMG. That's how I see this card. I don't actually see it as a blocker. I think its stat lines are too weak to be seen as a blocker because too many things can just get rid of it, right? Like Enel can just get rid of it with 1 Elthor. Like he doesn't even need to cost reduce or anything, Like it's too weak to be considered a real blocker, so that's how I see this card, just a pseudo DMG that can be played off Nami. 2 Usopp, this is the main defense of your deck. I think this blocker is really, really strong and it's really, really slept on. I think being able to play Usopp late game can completely shut your opponent out the game sometimes, given the current meta with like Sabo or with like Lucy, sorry, and Enel. Their boss cards not being above 7 cost. I think right now in the meta, this card is very strong. It's also really good in the mirror, which I haven't really spoken about much because right now I'm just trying to keep the community together. We're trying to beat the other decks right now, not each other. So I haven't really talked about the mirror much yet. But yeah, I think Usopp is an amazing card, and I will always gas him up every video. So yeah, this is the card we're playtesting today, the 4 cost Luffy. As you saw in the games, it has its use. Um, it's basically like the 5 cost Bonnie if you played Mihawk, disrupt your opponent's curve. I'm a big fan of cards like that where you can disrupt your opponent's curve. However, I don't know how important this card will be in the current meta. Like against yellow, for example, I don't really know what curve we're disrupting, which is more important than our own curve. So yeah, definitely need to do some more testing with this card. I haven't written it off yet, but I also haven't accepted it as a core part of the deck or like a staple part of the deck. Still definitely need to test more. Let me know what you guys think in the comments now that you've seen it in action, and if you play it in your own games. I'm very curious to see what you guys think of this card, because I know a lot of people love this card. It's my most requested card to try out. So yeah. Next up, we're playing 4 2K Zoros. A lot of people ask if you can replace this card. The answer is yes, definitely. You can honestly. Why did I click on yellow? You can honestly just replace this card with any searchable 2K. The first one that comes to mind is this Frankie. Like, it's cheap. It's OP15 uncomp. Like, you just need a searchable 2K. That's pretty much. So a searchable 2K basically just means a straw hat, which is a 2K. Yeah, like you will almost never play your 2Ks. So if you don't want to break your wallet to buy 4 of this card, that's completely understandable. Like, just play 4 of this card. It will not affect your win rate like a significant amount. Like, genuinely, I play this card 1 in every 20 games or something. Like, it is almost always a 2K in my hand. One 6 cost Luffy. Hopefully, this deck is becoming cheaper to build because I only play 1 Luffy and I'm saying you can replace this card. These are probably the 2 most expensive cards in the deck. And as we get closer to the set release, maybe people are starting to buy their cards or they've already bought their cards. So yeah, I think 1 Luffy is fine. I think at most you can play 2. I wouldn't play more than 2 personally. You're mainly just trying to play off your Nami. But it is good into yellow. And sometimes when you go second, it is nice to just play on hand from on your 6th on 10. So yeah, I think 2 at most. 1 Brook, I'm happy with keeping Brook at 1 for now. I think I'm pretty happy with this. I think this card will almost always just be a situational card and never a core part of your deck. You almost will always bring it out from your Nami. So I think keeping at 1 for now I'm happy with that. 2 Lord Beppo, I think this card honestly is so good. I am tempted to increase it to 3 or 4. I think Lord Beppo into yellow as well. Oh, it's just such a good card. Like, into the current meta, it's so good. I think at this point, the more I play, the more I want to see the card. Initially, I was saying it's cool if you don't see it, but nowadays I feel like I actually want to see the card. So I'm very tempted to bring it up to 4. I don't think you need to play the Piranha Searcher. I think that's a bit overkill. I think just playing 4 Lord Beppo is enough. Now you should see it like a lot more, like most games at least. So yeah, 3 to 4 Lord Beppo I think is what I will be testing next. 4 Sanji, staple 2K, like very strong. Never play Sanji in your opening tent if you have nothing to play. Just keep it in your hand as a 2K. The only time you should be playing the Sanji is late game when you need to push to use your leader effect, So it's the same turn pretty much. The same turn as when you want to use your leader effect. Yeah, very staple 2K. Same with Boiled, same concept. As the Sanji, just to push for your leader effect. I'm a big fan of this 2K, so I'm going to keep it. 4 Chopper, Heart and Soul of your deck will search any card in your deck except itself, of course. Very important card. You should mulligan for this card. You should, if you don't have it, you should play it off your docking 6. It's just such an important card. We're playing 2 Zoro. I think 2 is fine because you're basically only going to play Zoro off your docking 6. That's how I see it personally. I will almost never play Zoro from my hand, like hardcast it, because I'm playing the Usopp and I'm playing the Robin and I have so many other blockers, So I understand it's like a cheap blocker, but similar to this Nami, it has a pretty weak stat line. Your opponent can rest it, your opponent can Elthor it, like it's pretty easy to get rid of. So I keep it as 2 just to play off the docking 6. It's a lot more annoying that way as well because it kind of protects your board from, for example, the Rayleigh, as I showed you in the last game, So yeah, keeping at 2, pretty happy with that. Don't think I'm going to change that. 4 Robin, this was probably my most controversial opinion or my most controversial take for my last video. A lot of people on Discord and YouTube commented on this 4 Robin. People are saying it's too bricky. I can completely see where they're coming from. I just personally like the card a lot. I feel like it just fits my playstyle really well. I like this defensive playstyle where I can filter my hand, and I think I've just learned how to play with the card. But I completely see how people can say it's too bricky, and I think playing 3 Robin, 3 Lord Beppo sounds really good to me. So that's already what I'm going to test next. But I'm a very big fan of this card. I think playing 4 Robin and 3 Docking 6 just threw some people off because 4 Docking 6 has been, the standard for Brook for a while now. People thought it was just, a staple part of the deck, 4 Docking 6. So playing 4 Robin instead, I think maybe caught some eyes. But yeah, big fan of this card. I think you can play 3, but definitely think it should be in the deck. 3 Docking 6. Um, like I said, I'm still playing around with the ratios. I'm pretty happy with what I have right now. But I just like this Robin a bit more than the Docking 6, which is I play 4 of this and 3 of this. 3 Luffy, like I said, we're trying to make space for this 4-cost Luffy right now, so we're testing this out at 3. It felt pretty good. I didn't feel like I wasn't seeing it. So honestly, going forward, I might just keep this as 3. I think for my next deck, like V5, Brook V5, I think I'm going to keep this as 3 and see how that goes. I think I'm getting pretty close to a deck list I'm happy to take into ranked. So maybe just 1 or 2 more versions and I should be there. Yeah, so pretty happy with 3 Nightmare Luffy for now. Please test it out yourself and let me know what you think. I think my goal of this channel is to just open source everything I'm doing, and your feedback really helps a lot in terms of solving this deck because Brook is doing so horribly right now. I feel like we kind of need to come together and solve the deck because whatever the current standard list is, I feel like it's not very good and it's just getting run over by the other decks. So yeah, I'm testing out 3 Nightmare Luffy. Let me know what you guys think. 4 Nami, staple. This will never go down to 3. I have seen some people play 3. I just can't see the vision because it's not searchable by this Nami. So I can't see the vision personally of playing this at 3. But who knows? 4 Nami, this is your boss card. You need to see this card. And then yeah, 2 DMG, 2 Storm. DMG, you're going for game. I probably wouldn't play more than 2. It does feel too bricky when I play 3 or 4. So 2 DMG I'm pretty happy with. You have so many other ways of resting cards. So I just keep this at 2. And 2 Gum Gum Storm. It is a beautiful card or a late game where you just keep 1 Don active and your opponent just malfunctions because you're a 7k leader, your boss cards are 10k, your other cards are 7k. Like to put enough resources to kill these cards when you have 1 Don active for Gum Gum Storm just ruins your opponent's game, Like plus 4k to any of these cards is very strong. And also I really like the main effect when going for game, the plus 3k. It feels really nice. I don't know how big a difference it makes, but it just feels nice to play. It's like a dopamine hit, So I like the main effect. And yeah, this is the deck we're playing. Let me know what you guys think of me doing this deck breakdown at the end of the video instead of the start. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm trying out some new stuff, like in just YouTube wise. Like I tried to keep my face cam on for my videos this time. I put the deck list at the end of the video, so hopefully that helps with like viewer retention. I don't know. I'm just looking at like all the analytics and seeing how I can min max this stuff. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any recommendations or any suggestions, that's the same thing. Yeah, on what I can do to improve. I read every comment and I try to reply to every comment. Like I'm still a small channel, so it's very easy to do that. But yeah, I try to reply to everything. And the feedback has been very helpful for me. So please keep it coming. I love reading these comments. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the games. I'll probably post Nami next. I think that's been requested quite a lot, and I think Nami is probably like the best deck in format right now, right? Probably because yeah, beats an L, I think. So Nami is probably the best deck in format right now. So I will definitely make a video against that. Also, Emu. I'll play against Emu. So Nami and Emu have been requested, and I've got some other requests as well. So I'll play against all of those leaders, and then we will start our rank series. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these videos. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot.